I've been promising to do this for a year and a half, but I am actually going to start doing business coaching. I probably will stick to online business coaching. Some of the principles I talk about apply to all business. How does this relate to narcissism and codependency? I think actually one of the things I was thinking about this morning, it does to a certain degree, and it's this. People who break this rule break their businesses. You must be ego less in the conceptualization of your business. There is a time to be codependent in the mystical sense of completely yin. And then there is a time to be narcissistic in the mystical sense of being completely yang, where you're grandiose and you're demanding attention and you're saying, I'm the girl, I'm the guy, I'm going to make this happen, come to me. And you have to be quite aggressive with your marketing and your messaging. So let's start with where people usually get this wrong, because they usually confuse the two. The conceptualization of your business, completely yin. How? The rules I follow in the early phases make sure that I am thinking of myself as being like the black-clad ninjas of the Japanese kabuki theater in ancient times. You don't see me. So in the kabuki theater, when they wanted to change the set in the background, people who were dressed head to toe in black would come along and move props around and move the furniture around. Of course, the audience could see them, but the fact that they were clad in black meant you weren't to look at them. You were to ignore them. They were to be silent, and they were effectively invisible. Willful suspension of disbelief. Why are we invisible in the conceptualization of business? To prevent any ego getting into the mix in the beginning. Ego how? Okay, here's my rule. Nobody gives a flip about you. See how I'm not swearing? Isn't that beautiful? I can not swear. Nobody gives a flying flip about you. The client base, the market, it's really a jungle, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The market is beautiful. It's infinitely beautiful, like a jungle, and infinitely savage. It cares nothing about you, your story, who you are, your dreams. And I have to emphasize this a lot these days when I'm training people in business. And I think, apart from social media aggravating people's sense of entitlement and like it's all about me, I think there's also reality TV shows and talent shows. I don't watch them because I can't stand it because of all the willful provocation of just stupid levels of sentimentality, which is really poisonous. Story for a different day. It makes the viewer, it conditions the viewer to believe that what counts is not just whether the person can sing really well or dance really well or juggle the fiery chainsaws really well, but their story, the fact that their mother is ill or they're homeless or they're battling some horrible illness. And it makes us think, oh, that matters. The human element matters. It does not matter at all. Rule one, nobody gives a flip about you. Nobody cares. So we're entirely yin in our conceptualization of a business. Later, people will care about your story. Oh, but way later, far, far later. This keeps us humble. It keeps us in mind of what we are to do as a kabuki theater ninja. Rule number 2, you always backward engineer from what the market already wants. You never forward engineer from what you have. Never think, oh, I can make beautiful dolphin bracelets and I'm going to make money off that. Never think, oh, I'm a really good singer, so I'm going to do singing lessons. Now, at this point, people's egos will jump up and they'll say, my friend Sarah did that and it worked fine. Or I saw a guy on The Apprentice and he did this. Or I saw, The Dragon's Den, where they find venture capitalists to promote them. And listen, forget all that. Or don't and try and then fail and cry, which you will cry. You will break your heart. I love business for this. I love marketing for this. It's an ego-breaking experience. Those who get it, get it. Those who insist will be punished. It's wonderful. That's what the jungle does. The jungle is neutral. You either play by its rules or you don't, and you get mashed up. So you want to forward engineer your business? Go ahead. Go. I won't help you, but go ahead. You reverse engineer. You find a market who has a need that is not being met. The more desperate the need is, the better the market is. Why? Because they're more willing to give more money to have their problem solved. You may say, oh, that sounds a bit harsh. That's a bit psychopathic. Okay. This is how it works. You want people to buy from you, find what they already want, and then give it to them. That's backward engineering. You reverse engineer from a need and a gap in the market rather than forward engineering what you already have. Is there an element where you bring both of these things together? Of course. But your ego, your sense of self, like, no, me, my story, and what I can do will make you rely too heavily on what you already have. The humility, the egolessness, the yin state should be very, very market focused. And that never ends. You always listen. You always give the market you listen to your market. Listen to the market. Listen to your clients. This is not the same thing as making stupid rules like the customer is always right. That is for deadheads. It's just not true. It's a stupid way of looking at things. But the market is always right, because in this space, it's kind of amoral. Right just means they're willing to buy. Wrong means they're unwilling to buy. There's a different morality when it comes to sales and marketing and the business space. So rule number 1, nobody gives a flip about you. Put your ego to one side. Rule number 2, reverse engineer from what is already desired rather than forward engineering from what you already have. Yes, you will meet in the middle. You'll say, okay, we found this space. So when people come to me with ideas, I'll be like, oh, wow, is there a really unfed, untapped, but very hungry market there? And if they say no, I'm like, okay, you're going to have problems. Now, can you find a space in a highly saturated market? Yes. Will you? Probably not on your first go. You can name, let me say something narcissistic and grandiose. You can name a saturated market for me today, and I will make some money in that saturated market inside of 9 months. If it's in the if I can hit that market in the information product space, which is what I know is online marketing, information products. So you could say dating, in fact, I know what the highly saturated spaces are. They're dating, health and fitness, and fat loss. That's also online, how to make money online. There's another one, I can't remember what it is. I think it's like lifestyle development or something like that. Being a better person, setting goals, etc., like basic life coaching type stuff. Highly saturated spaces. Could I make money in them? Yes. Why? I'm crazy. I'm very experienced. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now. I'm extraordinarily grandiose and I know what I'm doing. If this is your first rodeo, please don't. Please don't. I could probably coach someone through doing it, but you would have to be ego-less. A big part of coaching, let me tell you something. This is like insider talk. Most of the time with coaching, and if you have other friends who do coaching, whether it's fitness, whether it's business, whether it's whatever it is, they'll tell you that this is true. When I actually don't do one-to-one coaching anymore. And when I did, I would conservatively estimate 70% to 80% of any 1 hour coaching session is me battling the other person's ego. 70 to 80% of the time in a 1 hour coaching session was me fighting the other person about what they believe to be true about the world. Now think about that. Say it's this is in a space of emotional abuse, narcissistic abuse. People would come to me whose lives were falling apart and they're in a tremendous amount of emotional pain and they were desperate. You know, their mental health was in crisis. For some of them, their physical, financial health was in crisis. Some of them were looking at homelessness. Some of them were completely distraught, in more pain they'd ever known in their lives. And even then, the human ego is so strong that for more than half of the session, I'd have to wrestle with them and their view of reality. So I'm giving you a warning. Don't be too egoic. It's going to waste your time. So it's not about you. It's about the market and what they want. Nobody really gives a flip about you. You will teach your market to care about you further down the line. Always reverse engineer, never forward engineer. And let's just keep this really, really simple if we want like 3 rules. Offer value. Don't get cute. don't get smart. So don't get cute means don't start counting how much money you can make just yet. You can have a rough business plan, but don't get too cute with it. Don't worry about your branding, your colors, your logo, the name of your bit. Like, no one cares. No one cares. At any point in the business, if business goes down, if business goes up, if you're looking for a new vision, if you're looking for a new path, ask yourself the question, how can I offer more value to the market? If people are ignoring you, you can't get YouTube views. You can't get like any traction in that space. Just think, how can I offer more value? Even if you were running a business in the real world, it was a restaurant, and the sales weren't doing too good, or you couldn't get people in, I would still go with the same question. Like, how do you offer more value? Ultimately, whatever we do in business, if it's a product or it's a service or a combination of the two, we solve problems for people. If the problem is really big and intense, they'll give you more money with a greater urgency than if the problem is vague and can be solved or not solved and they don't really care. They're just passing time. When it comes to the real world space, which is not my space, it's not my area of expertise, the same rules do apply to a certain degree. Offer more value, offer more to your clients, offer more to potential clients when you're doing your marketing, when you're building your brand. It's not that the client is always right. I would say the rule should be something like your contract with the client should always be honored. Never show your clients contempt. Never show the market contempt. When somebody is giving you money, even if you know that they're a complete a-hole, you don't do it for them. You do it for you. You do it for your brand. You do it for the ancient magical juju of like transaction. You do it for capitalism. You do it for free market, righteous capitalism. Honor all your contracts. Never rip people off. You don't need to rip people off. That's why I said don't get cute. There's no reason to get cute. There's loads of money out there. There's loads of problems to be solved. People are happy to give you money. They'll give you more money than you know what to do with if you're helping them and if you're offering them value. If this line of reasoning and coaching works for you and you think you would find it useful, if you want to get straight to putting money in a bank account by offering people good products and good services that actually help them in an honest, honorable way at a good price where you're doing a really good job, you somewhat over-deliver, you over-deliver 10, 20% to retain customer loyalty and to have repeat sales and to develop a good reputation. This is all good business practice. I think people associate business and sales and marketing with sneakiness and snake-like exploitativeness because some people do act like a-holes. They do. There's the narcissism and psychopathy element. They absolutely do. You don't have to. And that's our grandiosity. Like, that's my way of doing it. My grandiosity, my narcissism is, I don't need to do that. I'm so good at what I do. I can earn 3 times what you do and be completely clean karma. Totally hands clean karma, because I understand human psychology better than you do. In my humble opinion, there's no sustainability in ripping people off. So if this appeals to you, this line of reasoning, this line of training, this philosophy appeals to you, you can join this email list by clicking the link below. And probably in the next, I would say it's within the next 2 months, we're going to start doing coaching on this. And real simple, nothing fancy, nothing complicated, no weird systems, no pyramid schemes, no annoying your friends. You do a good job. You either offer a good product, a good service, a good price to the right people at the right time, and you make money and everybody wins. That's the way to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and for your attention. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Cheers. Okay, folks, the new course, Unplug from the Matrix of Narcissistic Abuse, is out now. And if you're interested in finding out more about that, please click the link below.